When it comes to traveling, there is nothing worse than overpacking and lugging heavy suitcases around only to realize we used around 50% of our stuff. And no judgment here, this used to be me, but luckily I learned how to pack minimally while still looking and feeling my best, and that's exactly what I want to share in this video with you as well. Now, the first crucial step that most people forget about is to mentally prepare before packing, because not every travel is the same. So here you want to do 3 different things. First, you want to check the weather of the destination. Second, you want to think about all of the activities you'll be doing there. And third, you want to think about the main goal of your trip. For example, if you go on a business travel, your goal might be to look and feel professional. But if you go sightseeing, being comfortable is your main objective. This may sound very obvious, but in reality, most of us can easily forget why we're traveling in the first place, and we want to pack for every single scenario, which leads to overpacking. But once you keep your main goal in mind, this will help you prioritize and only pack the essentials. So for today's packing, I'm going on a summer vacation for 1 week. It's going to be very, very hot, and my main goal is, of course, to relax. As usual, I'm gonna start with my wardrobe, and one of the best things I learned to do here is to start with shoes, because this makes all of my other decisions much easier. As a starting point, I always recommend taking at least 2 pairs, one casual and one fancy pair, and then you can add on as necessary. For this trip, I will only need my new jelly sandals for evening walks and then flip-flops for the beach. And then I continue with the rest of my clothes. The easiest method that works for me here is to go by my instinct and take everything that I want to wear out of the closet, and then I put it on the bed. This way I can see my entire selection and I can curate it to my needs, because one of the biggest mistakes I did in the past was to put everything into my suitcase directly, but now I avoid this at all costs. I always either put my stuff on the bed, on the clothing rail, or I even mentally pre-pack with my wardrobe tracking app. So of course, I would recommend for you to try this as well. Also, I want to mention here that because I've been packing minimally for a really long time now, my first selection is usually really spot on. But if you're just starting out, it's possible your first selection may be a bit bigger, but that's absolutely fine. You just want to lay it out on the bed and then streamline as you pack. With this step, I like to go through everything from my main capsule wardrobe, swimwear, outerwear, accessories, and bags. Now, for what to look out for when you're making your final choice, I personally always look at the color palette. So if something stands out to me and it's not gonna match with the other stuff, I will not pack it. The same goes for silhouettes. If a piece doesn't match with the rest, it's staying at home. And then of course I quickly do a math in my head on how many outfit combinations I can get for my selection. With my first choice, I picked 2 dresses, 3 tops, 4 bottoms and 1 jacket, and I realized this can give me 14 outfits, or even 28 if I count the jacket, which is too much for 1 week. So instead I decided to take only 2 bottoms, which leaves me with solid 8 combinations, and because I don't mind repeating my outfits, this is more than enough. Plus, I also packed 1 belt, and I will have different shoes and accessories, so that will keep my outfits fun as well. Also, I want to add here is that if I would be going away for longer, let's say 2 or 3 weeks, I would intentionally pack a smaller amount of stylish items that are also easy to hand wash, so I can keep my luggage to a minimum. And then another tip that most of us know by now is to wear your bulkiest items to avoid a heavy overpacked suitcase. I usually follow this as well, but because we're going to our destination by car, I can bend the rules a little bit. We're actually going there a bit early before we can even check in. So I will wear my bathing suit, cover-ups and flip-flops because we're going directly to the beach. And now for the rest of my stuff, as my main goal for this vacation is to relax, and for me that means loads of swimming, I packed 3 different bikinis. I always make sure they are in a different style so my tan lines don't get too visible. But then I also have 3 different cover-ups, black shorts, a white long shirt and a sarong. And I realized this is an overkill, but because I'm tracking my wardrobe, I wanted to take everything I own with me to see what I actually reach for. Plus, these items don't really take up a lot of space. Now, once I'm happy with my main capsule, then I will quickly add my underwear as well. A simple rule I follow here is to take 1 pair for each day I'm away for, plus 1 extra. As for my bras, I always go for the nude one with interchangeable straps, but then I also packed pasties for days when I want to be completely free. With the exception of my sports stuff, this is my wardrobe done, and now I will continue with my beauty products. Again, I use the same approach of taking everything I want out of the drawer and I put it in one spot so I can make my final decisions later. And here you can see me going through a travel section in our drawer. Pretty much every time I get a tester or I buy something specifically for traveling, it will go in here because this makes packing for me much easier. Also, this is where I keep my empty travel bottles. Next, I go through my skincare cabinet to take all of my essentials out, and again, I will put everything with my travel stuff. Here, I don't worry about the final number, I just go with my gut. And I know some people can take exactly what they need out of the drawers and cabinets and just pack them, but I personally need to take a little bit more to have the visual representation, and then I kind of declutter the selection until it makes sense to me. Also, to avoid any spills, I always use the small plastic baggies from IKEA, and I must admit, this saved me multiple times, so I never ever travel without them. Now, the first bag I pack is my small essential bag where I put my lens solution, lenses, toothpaste, and sometimes even a toothbrush. This way I know right away where my essentials are and I don't need to rummage through my bag to get to them. As for the big toiletry bag, the criteria I use to narrow everything down is size and practicality. First, I will pick all of the appropriate testers that make sense for my trip, but sometimes these are too small for the entire week, so in that case I will just go with my normal size product. And then I also focus on multitasking products. For example, with my argan oil, I can use it as a makeup remover, as a face oil, but then also on my hair. Then I also have a new hair mask my sister recommended that I will use both as a hair protection, applying it on my hair before going to the beach, but then also as my leave-in conditioner. But because this tub is huge, I put it in two of my old empty containers instead, and I personally love doing this because once I use up the product, I can put the containers in the bin, meaning my packing will be simplified going back. Also, if you're going somewhere for a long time, you can think about buying products once you get there instead of packing them. When I was younger and me and my family went on vacation, we bought all of our body SPF and body lotions there. And because we were away for 2 weeks and it was the 4 of us, we used up everything, meaning we didn't need to pack these items on our way there or on our way back, which made our lives much easier. Now, these are my beauty products done, and because my main goal is to relax, I didn't pack any hair tools, but if I would be going somewhere else and I wanted to look a little bit more put together, I would pack a hair straightener as well. That's why knowing our end goal is so important so we can prioritize better. And now to my makeup. Again, my main goal is to relax, so I don't want to wear a full face of makeup, but I do want to have a few items for our date night so I can look cute. Again, I'm focusing on the essentials here, such as concealer, mascara, brow gel, eyeshadow stick, bronzer, blush, lipstick, and some accessories. And I know I could simplify my makeup even more if I wanted to, but because I enjoy it and it doesn't take up a lot of space, I allow myself to just pick my favorites. The same goes for my jewelry. I will only pick my favorites that I can wear the entire day, such as my gold choker, a pendant necklace, bracelets, huggies, and some small crystal earrings that I put in the tiny stackers box. Also, before I forget, a quick reminder that if you're enjoying this video so far, that you give it a thumbs up, and also if you've come to this point, leave me a suitcase emoji down below so I can know. Thank you! Okay, and now to my sports stuff and pajamas. Usually I would do this right after my main capsule, but because I had some things in the wash, I did it a bit later. Now, being active is important to me, but when I'm on vacation, I take just enough so I can do some Pilates and yoga, meaning I don't need to pack my heavy trainers or worry about gyms when I'm there. For 1 week, I packed 3 shorts and 3 crop tops, which is the perfect amount for me. As for my pajamas, I usually sleep without anything, but I still like to have one set I can use in the evening to just relax in, and for me these cute shorts and cami are gonna do the trick. And to finish packing my suitcase, I added my laptop, chargers, empty pillowcases for my dirty stuff, and earplugs, and this is my small carry-on done. So now the last thing for me to pack is my beach bag. Again, because we're going there by car, my bag of choice was a bit unique here, but if I would be traveling with a train or a plane, I would simply replace it with my big puffer bag. As for what I'm taking with me, because we're going glamping and we're gonna spend most of our time at the beach, I wanna have a big selection here. So I will have 2 microfiber towels, 1 book with mysteries to solve, a pair of sunglasses, a swimming hat that can get wet, my vlogging camera with all of the accessories in the little bag, then a thermal bag we can use for our drinks, a big straw hat on this cute hook I found on Amazon, and then of course the sun protection for me and my husband. We have SPF 30 for our body, SPF 50 stick we can use on our face, and a spray mist so we can be hydrated from the sun. And lastly, an empty spray bottle that I love filling with water so I can cool myself down, a pineapple floaty, and the sea water shoes. Now I use the carry-on in this video to show you how this size can be more than enough for 1 week, but because we're driving there, I will actually change it to my medium-sized suitcase so I can take my pillow with me as well, because this makes a huge difference to my sleep, and it's a hack I use almost every time I'm traveling with a car. Now, I'm super excited for this summer vacation, and I hope you're going somewhere fun this summer too, and you can let me know your destination in the comments down below. Also, if you want a step-by-step guide on how to build a travel capsule wardrobe, I will link another video you can watch after this one. But this is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.